गौरांग गंधावित गिरिधारी श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जाय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मरन मोहन जू की जाय। नित्यानंद विष्णु विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जाय। नित्यानंद विष्णु विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्यानंद विष्णु विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत साई महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्यानंद विष्णु विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिशिमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्यानंद विष्णु विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिशिमार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्यानंद विष्णु महाभागवत श्री गोक्षर बाबाजी महाराज की जाय। नित्यानंद विश्व शुद्ध सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जाय। नित्यानंद विष्णु वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबाजी महाराज की जाय। श्री रूपानु गौरी गुरु वर्ग की जाय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास गुनाथ शार गोसाई प्रभु की जाय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जाय। नाम अक्षय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जाय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौरमंडल गज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जाय। सर्व अदृश्य पदार्थ गिरिराज महाराज की जाय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जाय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जाय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जाय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जाय। श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाय की जाय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जाय। जय श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जाय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जाय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। जय श्री राधाष्टमी तिथि की जय। Wow, Radhashmi, I've not been on top of the track of keeping track of time right now. I see Radhashmi is just the day after tomorrow. God, so soon. Okay, let's do quick Mangalacharan. Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmitam yena tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Shri Siddhanta Sarasvatī Vidito Gauriya Gurvanvaye Bhato Bhanuriva Prabhata Gagane Yogo Sankirtanai Maya Varati Mingilo Daragatan Udritya Jivaniman Krishna Prema Sudabdika Hana Sukham Pradat Prabhum Tam Bhaje Vande Bhakti Vinodan Shri Gaur Shakti Swarupakam Bhakti Shastragya Samrajam Radharasa Sudhanidhim Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Parayate Gauravya Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Vrishabhanusutan Vitavamatano Yamuna Tatanagarananda Sutam Murali Kalagita Vinoraparam Bhajagodrumakanana Punjavidum Smaragora Gadadara Kelikalam Bhavagora Gadadara Pakshachara Shrinu Gaura Gadadhara Charukhatam Bhaja Godruma Kanana Kunja Vidrum Tavai Vasmi Na Jivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vigyaya Devi Tvam Nayamam Charanam Tikam Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshaya Shiptashtakamadrangam Kripa Mai Tvam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charanarvindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams, dear devotees, Sarveshwari Mataji, Anadi Krishna Prabhu, Deepika Gupta, and let's see. Oh, Bilba Mangal Prabhu, Hare Krishna, and if Shama Didi is there, also pranams to her. Ganga Mataji, Krishna Mai Didi, and everybody else watching. I don't know. Yeah, if you write a comment, I'll see your name. Also pranams to all the devotees watching in the future, like Shachi Devi, Jayade Prabhu, and Revati Didi, Krishna Rose, Manjari Didi, and everybody else. I think Rohini Nandan Prabhu might be there, I'm guessing. Indira Mataji, and everybody else. Haribol. Okay, so yesterday I was about to do a reading, and then very last minute, like right before I started the reading, I was just looking through this book, Rupanuga Bhajan Sampat. This is a book published by our Param Gurudev, Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Gosvāmī, and in it he has what does it say? Shri Satchidananda Premalankar, Shri Narottam Niti, and the Kaviraj Kostuba. So it has all the very directly Rupanuga songs by Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur from all of his different songbooks. And then the Narottam Niti part has Prarthana and Prem Bhakti Chandrika, along with a commentary by Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Prabhupāda. And then the Kaviraj Kostuba has all these sections of Chaitanya Charitamrita, like Rupa Shiksha, Sanatan Shiksha, Rai Ramananda Samvad, Mahaprabhu's tasting the moods of Srimati Radhika, like all these different sections of Chaitanya Charitamrita that are, very directly, that nourish this mood of being a Rupanuga. So I was looking through Prarthana, and I right before I started the reading yesterday, and I noticed that in the new Gaudiya Giti Gucha that I'm working on, that's supposed to go to the printers in 1 week from now, which I don't think is going to be possible, but I noticed that we had 41 of the 55 songs in Prarthana. And so we would just have to add in, 14 more songs, and then the Gaudiya Giti Gucha would contain the entire Prarthana. And so then I was like, oh my God, we're going to the printers in a week, and I have to sit and translate 14 songs. And I freaked out. But then after I was looking through the songs, and I discussed with Vajanti Mala Mataji and Shrivas, and I finally came to the conclusion that the songs are all really high, and we do have, some high songs in the Gaudiya Giti Gucha, but Param Gurudev in the introduction, he said that this book is, he's mainly giving songs that are for devotees on the Kanishta and Madhyam levels. And he said 1 or 2 songs for Uttam Vaishnavas have been included in this book, but one should first think very carefully about your qualification before entering into them. And so I just got a feeling, I don't think Param Gurudev would want us to have so many like really, really high songs in the book. And so I decided not to put them in. I added in 2 more though. But anyways, that's why I canceled last minute yesterday. So today we're going to read half of an article, because it's a long article by Śrīla Sarasvatī Prabhupāda called Śrī Rādhāṣṭamī, the day of her advent. And I actually, back, I don't know, maybe like 3 years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, I did a high quality recording of it. Like I would record each sentence one by one so that I could say it each sentence nicely, you know, and I wouldn't mess up, and I used my good microphone and all that. And I edited the video a little bit. So that, I think it's on my website, lineofdevotion.com, the YouTube video for that, if you ever want to hear a good quality recording of it. Right now we're just gonna read it how. Oh, and Haribo, Nari Haribu, and Bhavatarani Mataji, and Champak Mataji, Dandavat pronounce. And Haribo Rohini Nandan Prabhu. Haribo. Nari Haribu and Bhavatarani Mataji. Yesterday I was on my way to your room, and then somebody came who I needed to ask questions, songbook related questions, and I didn't manage to spend such a crazy time like that. But yeah, I really want to visit you both. Okay, Rādhāṣṭamī, the day of her advent. Let's see. Maybe today I'll pop up if I'll message you afterwards to see what at the time that.
Okay.
Okay, so let's begin. Let's see, what's a good font? Balaram U. I like Balaram. Let's make it. Okay. Sorry, okay. Śrī Rādhāṣṭamī, the day of her advent. And this is published in Rays of the Harmonists. Actually, let's just look where this is from exactly. Is translated for Rays of the Harmonists. Yeah. So this is a discourse. There's a class given in the Saraswat Assembly Hall of Sri Gaudiya Math on Rādhāṣṭamī evening, 19 September 1931. It's published in the Weekly Gaudiya, October 1931. Is translated by Rays of the Harmonists team for the number 20 issue, Kartik 2009. Okay. There is one person whose name is never mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, and yet Bhagavatam's steadfast readers constantly nurture the ardent hope of becoming that person's devout, one-pointed servant. May that person, who means everything to Sri Bhagavan, kindly destroy our false ego in all its various forms and bestow upon us the shelter of her lotus feet. Today is the day of her advent. That personification of grand benevolence, having collected all varieties of graces from Sri Bhagavan to bestow as gifts upon all beings, is eternally the foremost of the benevolent. May she descend within our hearts and make her appearance there, and may her advent be the concern of our worship. His all in all. It is common for us to hear that the entire earth is sustained by the entity known as Govinda. Many people speak in these terms. Yet there is one whom Govinda himself esteems as his all in all, his sarvasva. And without the guidance of that entity, we cannot realize what it actually means that she is his everything, his sarva. The word swa means one's own, but it can also mean one's treasure or one's affluence. One who is Govinda's own, or one who is the affluence of Govinda, is Govinda's entire fortune. The treasure that makes Govinda wealthy is naturally the very essence of his all in all, his sarvasva vastu. We can only know the true meaning of loving worship when we make her, Govinda's sarvasva vastu, the object of our own loving worship. The devotee's only cherishable hope. All the scriptures loudly sing that the form of divinity, the personality of Godhead, is the actual object of worship. Other than him, no one can be worthy of the word aradhya, the object of loving adoration. Due to being covered by ignorance for the time being, we have given up our loving quest to find him, and have cheated ourselves out of attaining love for him. The very moments that we became covered by ignorance, anarthas emerged, which led us to mistakenly perceive him, the Supreme Lord, as some other entity. Our ultimate goal is to attain artha, meaningfulness, the antithesis of which lays in anarthas. If we do not take up a service attitude and pursue these goals, if we do not take a service attitude and pursue these goals or perfections available to us, which are most meaningful to us and dear to our hearts, and if we do not gain an understanding of the principles of service, then, swayed by our own arrogance and ego, we shall end up serving something other than he who is truly meant to be served. The attainment of pure love of God, prem, is the sole purpose of all worship. Thoroughly grasping this truth, we shall live by the ardent hope that one day we will be counted among her entourage. Otherwise, it is preferable to die thousands of times. Asha bhara ramrita sindhu mayai katanche Kalo mayati gamita kila sampratangi Tvam chet kripa mai vidasya sinaiva kimme Pranai vrajena chavaro rupakarinapi. That's Vilap Kusmanjali, verse 102. One second, I just need to blow my nose, so I'll be right back. O Devi with graceful thighs, now burdened by hopes of serving you, a hope which is itself an ocean of immortal nectar. I am somehow passing my time with great difficulty as I wait anxiously. If you will not give me your mercy, then what use to me is my own life's breath? What use to me is being in Vraj? What use to me even is Sri Krishna, who defeated the hideous crane demon Bakasura? Anata Gokula Sudakara Suprasanna Vaktaravinda Madhura Smita He Kripardra Yatra Tvaya Viharate Pranaya Priyara Tatraiva Mam Apinaya Priya Sevanaya. Hey Nath, the filler of your devotees' cherished desires. Hey Gokul Sudakar, O moon of Gokul, who distributes cooling nectar to all the Vrajvasis. Hey Suprasanna, Hey Vakraravinda, your face like a blossoming lotus flower is always cheerful as you grant all of your devotees' most cherished wishes. Hey Madhura Smita, O you whose smile is so sweet and gentle. Hey Kripardra, whose heart is melting from compassion. Please take me to that place where you and your beloved Srimati Radhika taste pastimes of overwhelming love for each other, and let me intimately serve the two of you there. That hope, the devotee's only cherishable hope, is an ocean of life-giving ambrosia. When will that hope bear fruit? I feel it is essential to sustain my life because of the hope that someday I will be counted among her entourage. I just want to reread that sentence. I feel it is essential to sustain my life because of the hope that someday I will be counted among her entourage. But alas, since our eagerness is not increasing, we are not fully realizing our hopes. We are not obtaining that which we have ardently been hoping for. If our hopes are not fulfilled this very day, if Sri Govinda's beloved, his all in all, does not descend within our hearts and make her appearance there this very day, then we have been deceived, and we shall not be able to find anyone more unfortunate than ourselves throughout all history. If we are cheated out of serving that person whose grace will grant us all that we may ever achieve, including our place within Bhagavan's own holy abode and our connection to all things related to him, and if we cannot comprehend her true identity or discover her presence in the 18,000 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, then our study of the Bhagavat has been worthless. The perfection of loving worship exists solely in her. Being intimately knowledgeable about her identity, Sri Gaurasundar spoke to us about Unata Ujjvala Ras. He enumerated the many methods of serving Bhagavan and instructed us in the process of serving him purely, without the adulteration of any extraneous moods. It is only because he spoke to us about such matters that we can comprehend the existence of such a thing as Ujjvala Ras. And on account of this, we can indirectly comprehend the unpleasantness of its antithesis, the bleak, mundane ras, with its utterly lackluster sentiments. In how many ways has Sri Bhagavan personally offered us intimate knowledge of himself, just to make us relish transcendental service to him? Yet it is essential that we wholly understand that person who has rendered such immense service to Sri Bhagavan that he has made her the object of his own service. Those who adoringly sing about her can bestow upon us the qualification to serve her. They alone can awaken anurag, inexhaustible, ardent affection for her lotus feet in the core of our being. The intelligence and strength to serve her is attained by keeping company with her dear confidants, who are in her anugati, in her guardianship or tutelage. By such company, we can realize that service to her is the highest purpose in existence. As soon as we can come to understand, in light of the teachings of the Mahajans, that she is Sri Bhagavan's everything, we shall proceed to serve her, knowing that the perfection and prosperity of loving worship exists solely in her. If we engage in serving her from this day forth, the day of her advent, then we shall become qualified to reach the summit of auspiciousness. Surely, all of us do not pray for that ultimate auspiciousness. But if by some unknown sukriti, some blessed activity, we get the association of one of the confidants of Sri Vrishabhanunandini, she who is the embodiment and origin of supreme auspiciousness, And if we are truly granted the fortune of hearing genuinely sublime narrations about her, then we too may develop the inspiration to follow the path of that ultimate auspiciousness. But if we engage in self-deception by depriving ourselves of service to that person who means everything to Akila Rasamritamurti, Sri Nandanandam, and service to her faithful followers who are her dear confidants, we can never attain the eligibility to serve Sri Govinda. The secret. To understand her identity, we believe that it is essential to first know her name. Yet, while studying Srimad Bhagavatam, we find no apparent mention of her name anywhere. We only discover descriptions of her form and beauty, praise of her qualities, and accounts of the speciality of her companions and her pastimes. In Srimad Bhagavatam, we find everything about the dearest beloved of Govinda but her name, as though it has not been mentioned there at all. Yet, in the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, we discover something. Jnanam paramame yad vijnana samanvitam sarahasyam tarangancha grihana gaditam maya. That is Srimad Bhagavatam 2:930. Why is there a footnote? Okay, anyways. So it says, Sri Bhagavan said, O Brahma, knowledge of me, Gyan, is a subject matter established in the revealed scriptures. Such knowledge is verily founded upon realization, Vigyan, of my Sarup, of my intrinsic form, and also upon that esoteric secret, the Rahasya, Prem Bhakti. Both are highly confidential. I am revealing all of this to you, and I am also revealing to you knowledge of Sadhan Bhakti, which is the preliminary branch of the preliminary anga of Prem Bhakti. Embrace all of this knowledge and assimilate it with care. Kalena nashta pralaye vaniyam veda sangita mayado brahmane prokta dharma yasyam maratmaka tena prokta saputraya manave purvajayasa tato brigvadayo grinnan sapta brahma maharshaya. Srimad Bhagavatam 11:14, verses 3 to 4. Sri Bhagavan said, the divine message of the Vedas, which describe dharma related to me, disappeared after the cosmic annihilation due to the passage of time. At the beginning of the next creation, I personally imparted that knowledge to Brahma. In turn, Sri Brahma instructed this Vedic knowledge to his firstborn son, Manu, and thereafter, the 7 Brahmarshis, headed by Bhrigu Muni, accepted the same. Sri Bhagavan explained all these matters to the first created being, Brahma. But over time, the people of this world forgot his message, because the collective currents of their thought were naturally subjected to the effects of degeneration, dissolution, and so forth. Jnanam paramaguhyam me yad vijnana samanvitam sarahasyam tarangam cha grihana gaditam maya. Srimad Bhagavatam 2:930. So same section, right? No. Hey, this also says, oh, it's the same verse. Okay, he's quoting the same verse a second time. Okay, so now as I speak to you, hear my words and assimilate them. Knowledge of me is highly confidential. It is knowledge fully grounded in realization, and knowledge that is interwoven with secrets, and therefore is itself an extremely intimate secret. The scriptural definition of the word rahasya is rahasi stita, that which is situated in secrecy. Neither these secrets, rahasya, nor anything branching from them, nor any of the angas, can be grasped through observation of some supposed objective reality. So there's a footnote. It says rahasya here refers to prem bhakti, pure loving devotion, and its anga or limb is sadhan bhakti, the practices employed to ultimately attain pure loving devotion. Swept away by the currents of thought that dominates the external world, we have forgotten the essentiality of taking shelter at the feet of one who has true knowledge of the soul. Nothing else is so essential. Sri Bhagavan remains in a state of perpetual readiness to reawaken this knowledge. Sri Bhagavan said to Brahma, "Now, as I speak to you, carefully listen to my words and accept them in your heart. No one is qualified to hear or embrace this message without my grace. Only by my mercy shall those who hear and learn about me gain the secret knowledge. What am I? What is my form? What is my roop? What is my intrinsic nature? What is my swarup? What are my qualities, my guna? What are the specialities of my associates? What pastimes do I perform?" So, yeah, who am I? My roop, swarup, gun, my lila. The stage of absorption in my transcendental pastimes, which are saturated with ras, far surpasses the stage of absorption in ordinary mundane sentiments. There is no other way to know all this but through the potency of my mercy. I am the foundation of all divine qualities. I am not speaking about qualities that are adulterated by passion and ignorance, but rather of those qualities that are the existential causal basis of creating, sustaining, and destroying the cosmos. Since I am distinguished by these qualities, and since I am the instrumental cause of all effects, I am the original fundamental entity. This can be known only by attaining my grace. Therefore, Sri Bhagavan has used the word mad anugraha, my grace, or favor. Information about Sri Bhagavan's anga aspect, namely sadhan bhakti, information about his rahasya aspect, namely that most esoteric secret, prem bhakti, information about his vigyan aspect, particularly that realized knowledge which is saturated with sublime consciousness, and information of his personal splendor, which includes his abode, eternal associates, and expansions, Tadarup Vaibhav, are all supremely confidential, non-dual knowledge, Advai Gyan. That eternal, highly confidential knowledge can only be attained by the mercy of Sri Bhagavan. It is never revealed otherwise, for any reason. This secret knowledge is disclosed at the beginning of the 4 core verses, the Chatushloki of Srimad Bhagavatam. We are fortunate that Sri Gaurasundar has revealed this mystery to the world, as though unlocking the treasure chest. The secret should not be revealed to impersonalists. Haribol Vidilala Sadidi. Oh, and Chatamai Mataji, sorry, I didn't see you before. Okay, so the secret should not be revealed to the impersonalists. A secret, a rahasya, has been mentioned, an account of it given, but the name of the person about whom the secret is concerned has not been disclosed. Since that name is a secret, it should not be disclosed to those subscribing to the schools of ignorant thought, and has not, therefore, been openly revealed. After hearing the pastimes of Sri Nandanandan told in Srimad Bhagavatam, these ignorant people, what to speak of gaining any faith, they discard all accounts of the Lord's pastimes and just contemplate the impersonal feature of the Absolute, which is in line with their mundane conception. And some of them deem it and some of them deem it sensible to merge their very souls with that impersonal reality. Without hearing from a genuine bona fide source, people's perception of reality suffers from this sort of distorted vision. Due to their immense aversion towards serving the Lord, they can never comprehend the intrinsic nature of Bhagavad Bhakti. But in our own hearts, which are radiant with pure existential goodness, sattva, the day of Rasmai Parameshwari's advent has arrived in the course of the sun's orbit. The roaming sun is today revealing the appearance of that supreme goddess. Hence, for us, the sun god too is showing us supreme favor by unveiling the arrival of the secret at hand. Our duty now is to submit ourselves to someone who has knowledge of that secret. A poet by the name of Manohar Das has said, Radha pankaja pakata ki asha, dasa manohara koroto piyasa. The Bhakta's ardent wish is that they may someday serve Śrī Radha's lotus feet. This is also Das Manohar's only aspiration. Krishna is bound by Varshabhanavi's prem. The single most cherished aspiration of the topmost devotees is to serve the lotus feet of Śrī Radha. That's from Radha Ras Sudhanidhi 259. This verse that I'm going to say. Śrī Radha Padadasyameva Paramabhishtitam Hridadharayan Karisyam Tar Anugrahena Paramarbhuta Nuragotsava. When will I relish that most wonderful festival of attachment to the lotus feet of Śrī Radha by keeping that most supreme ambition of serving them in the core of my heart? In an Ashtapadi, Śrī Jayadev has said, Kangsarir apisam smara vasana bandha shrinkalam radham adhaya hridaye tatyaja brajasundari. Gita Govinda 7:1. It says, even though Krishna is the one who causes everyone's happiness to swell, and even though he is the supreme hero who was destined to conquer evil King Kamsa, his heart had been bound with the fetters of Srimati Radhika's love. Since within his heart he was always absorbed in Radhika's prem, which is the quintessence of Madhur Ras, he naturally abandoned all the countless other beautiful Vrajadevis. At the Rasastali, the place of the Rasdans, all the gopis are present with Gopinam, who is engrossed in ras-laden pastimes with them. When the daughter of Rishabhanu Maharaj, Varshabhanavi Śrī Radha, arrived there, she saw that countless gopis were immersed in serving Bhagavan by dancing with him in a circle. Reproaching that sight within her mind, she thought, today my Krishna is in the hands of others, and my own confidants are busy enjoying themselves. To effect a feeling of separation of Vipralamba Bhav, which actually nourishes the thrill of meeting Sambhog Ras, Varshabhanavi ran away from the Rasastali instead of entering it, joining the Rasa dance. Remain proudly in her Anugata. It is at this point that Śrī Jayadev has written, Krishna, the enemy of Kamsa, suddenly broke away from the Rasastali. Radha is likened to a chain that binds Sri Krishna in intense desires to relish the essence of her love. With thoughts of that Śrī Radha weighing deeply on his heart, Krishna deserted all the other beautiful Vrajadevis and went to search for her, unaccompanied by anyone else. When someone abandons the anugatya, the guardianship or tutelage of Radhika, any skill he may display in gratifying Krishna senses is not actually faithful to the true propensity of his soul, exclusive devoutness to serving Sri Krishna. Although all the gopis are direct manifestations, although they are kaya vyuha of Radhika, it is particularly those confidants of Krishna's sarvasva, Srimati Radhika, who, while remaining proudly in her anugatya, can provide Krishna the utmost delight. Shriman Rasarasarambi Vamshivata Tathastitaha Karshan Venu Swaner Gopir Gopinata Shreyestuna. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 117. Shriman Gopinath, who stands at the base of Vangshivat and who orchestrates the loving emotions, the ras that arises during the ras dance, attracts all the gopis by the sweet sounds of his flute, drawing them to his side. May he bless us with all auspiciousness. Contemplating enjoying Sambho, that is, contemplating enjoying the company of Shri Govinda without being in the anugatya, without being in the guidance or tutelage of Shri, who means everything to him, is something we shall never do. To shed light on this matter, Śrī Jayadeva Goswāmī, the author of the Ashtapadi, reveals something that supplements the description in Srimad Bhagavatam. He says, Tatyaja Vrajasundari, abandoning the beautiful Vrajadevis. Krishna abandons the gopis even as they danced with him during the Ras Leela. He left them all to find Srimati Radhika while carrying her in the deepest chamber of his heart. The binding chains of love of the other gopis are faint, feeble, and vulnerable when compared to the chains of Varshabhanavi's love, which are immensely and profoundly powerful. After Sri Krishna had left them, all the gopis took shelter of Vrishabhanu Nandini's Adiruddha Mahabhav. Overwhelmed by emotions such as Mohan and Madan, they set out in search of Sri Krishna. They all understood that without taking shelter at the feet of Govinda Sarvasva Shri Varshabhanavi, Madhur Ras can never find complete nourishment. All moods and expressions of love with which the gopis perform their services exist simultaneously in Shri Varshabhanavi, and only in her do such moods of love exist in their entirety and perfection. Therefore, abandoning all the other gopis, who are each absorbed in one of the 8 moods of a heroine, such as the feeling of separation from her lover, Purushita Bhartrika, Krishna left the ras dance, forcefully drawn by Sri Varshabhanavi's power of attraction, for she alone possesses all these bhavs to their full extent. As such, he set out in search of Shri, who verily attracts the all-attractive being. The gopis are expansions of Radhika. Because they are eternally the fractional portion of the Anksha of Shri, who is the originating and complete whole, the Ankshini, they could not bind Krishna, for he is solely her property. Radhika thus extracted Krishna, who attracts everyone from the ras dance. These topics can only be fathomed by someone if the innate faculties of his soul, if the Atma Vritti, have already awakened to the taste of divine amor, Madhur Rati. Yet still, if someone's heart is the seat of intense parental love, of Vatsalya Ras, then they too can understand the sweetness and beauty of the pastimes of Shri, who is the complete whole. The glory of her Anugatya. The gopis came to the place where the ras dance was to take place, attracted by Krishna, and pulled to him by the sweet melodies of his flute. Then, when Shri Varshabhanavi, the embodiment of divine amor of Madhur Rati, in its fullest form, when Vishesh, let me just reread that because I thought about something else. I just want to the gopis came to the place where the Rasa dance was to take place, attracted by Shri Krishna and pulled in by the sweet melodies of his flute. Then, when Śrī Rādhāṣṭamī, the embodiment of divine Amla, Madhurati in its fullest form, when she desired to serve Shri Nandanandan Gopinath, Radharaman, the object of our service, he abandoned the less extraordinary attraction of all the other gopis and became a victim of Śrī Vārshabhanavi's charm. The most attractive being became helplessly attracted. Therefore, when liberated souls gain the qualification required to fathom Radhika's position, they understand the following. Karmi vyaparito hare priyataya vyaktinya jnaninas tebhyo jnana vimukta bhakti parama premaika nishtastata tebhyasta pashupala pankajadrishas tabhyo pisaradhika prishta tadvadiyam tadiya sarasi tangnashrayet katriti. So Upadeshamrita verse 10. One who selflessly performs virtuous acts in accordance with the path of karma yoga is superior to those who merely seek to fulfill their selfish desires. The Brahmagyanis, who by dint of their spiritual knowledge are transcendental to the three modes of material nature, are more dear to Shri Krishna than those pious followers of the karma path who are forever occupied in performing virtuous deeds. More dear to Shri Krishna than the Brahmagyanis, are his devotees, like Sanak, who abandoned the pursuit of knowledge and who consider bhakti alone to be the best path. But pure devotees like Narad, who are resolutely fixed in praying for Shri Krishna, are even more dear to him than all such devotees. And yet the lotus-eyed Vrajagopis, whose very lives belong solely to Krishna, are even more beloved to him than all such premi devotees like Narad. Amongst all those beloved gopis, Srimati Radhika is more dear to Shri Krishna than his own life. And in precisely the same way, he dearly loves her pond, Śrī Rādhākund. Therefore, what highly fortunate, spiritually intelligent person would not reside on the banks of Śrī Rādhākund in a state of transcendental consciousness, performing bhajan of Shri Krishna's eightfold daily pastimes? Krishnasya chai pranaya vasati preyasibhyo piradha kundam chasya muniviravitas tadrigeva vyadhayi yat preshtar apalamasulabham kim punar bhakti bhajam tat premedam sakrirapi sara snatura vishtaruti. After thorough deliberation on the matter, the sages have unanimously declared in the Padma Puran that just as amongst all the gopis, Srimati Radhika is the foremost object of Shri Krishna's great love, in precisely the same way, this pond of hers is also the topmost object of his love. Upon one who simply bathes in its waters just once with great devotion, Śrī Rādhākund bestows that rare treasure of Gopi Prem, which is so immensely difficult to attain even for such dear devotees of Bhagavan as Narad, what to speak of ordinary sadhaks. Śrī Radhika is the abode of Shri Krishna's intense love, his pranay. Amidst his other beloveds, she is foremost and dearmost in every respect. Even Uddhav and other exalted devotees pray for the foot dust of the gopis. Yet these gopis consider that their lives will be successful if they can attain a position in the anugatya, in the guidance or tutelage of Śrī Vārshabhanavi. And the most exalted devotees, those who are inclined toward Madhuras and who have reached the summit of bhakti to the Supreme Lord, they take shelter at the place of her pastimes and bathe in the sacred waters of her pond, Śrī Rādhākund. In pursuit of awakening the faculties of awareness within the soul proper, they constantly immerse themselves in the holy waters of that lake and dwell by its side. The confidants of Shaibya, Chandra, and other rival gopis do not even qualify to approach that place. To perpetually live by the bank of such a pond, and to bathe in its transcendental waters by following the soul's own faculties of awareness, is not affordable for any ordinary fortunate person. As long as the transcendental nature of Śrī Varshabhanavi's age and her childless innocence, even in the midst of her dawning adolescence, that transcendental nature does not become the subject of our reflection, we cannot understand the glory of achieving a position in her Anugatya. And there's a footnote. What does a footnote say? It says, although Srimati Radhika is apparently an eternal Kishori, she remains intrinsically a Kaumari, a pre-adolescent. Okay, what time is it? It is 7:59. Okay, let's just read this section and then we can stop. Let's see how much longer is it? Yeah. We'll stop after, because it's still a few more pages. So we'll finish this tomorrow. Actually, maybe let's stop here because it's 8 o'clock and this section is a little bit longer. Yes. So we'll continue reading this article tomorrow. And wait, is tomorrow? I think tomorrow is Lalita Saptami also. So that's what we'll do tomorrow. We'll finish reading this article and then we'll read something about the glories of Lalita Devi. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe. 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 Jai Sakshi Nandan Gaura Hari, Sachinandan Jai Gaura Hari. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jai Radhe, Jaya Krishna. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai, Jai Shri Gurudev Ki Jai, Jai Shri Param Gurudev Ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Rupano Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Saparshad Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopikan Ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Pinda Devi Ki Jai, Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Jai Shri Raseshwari Shri Vishwabhanunandini Srimati Radha Thakurani Ki Jai, Jai Shri Harinama Sankirtan Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Ho, Vrindai Tulsi Devai, Priyai Keshavashacha, Krishna Bhakti Padadevi, Satyavataya Namo Namaha. Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo. Dandavat pranams, Anari Krishna Prabhu, Andre Hari Prabhu, Bhavatharani Mataji, Champak Mataji, Deepika Gupta, and on YouTube and Facebook, Bilva Mangal Prabhu, and Shama Didi is there. Dandavat pranams to you as well. Ganga Mataji, Krishna Maya Didi, Rohini Nandan Prabhu, Vidyalalasa Didi, Indira Mataji, and all devotees watching in the future, like Shachi Devi, Jai Prabhu, Revati Didi, Krishna Rose, Manjari Didi, and everybody else. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for joining. And see you tomorrow. See you all tomorrow to celebrate Śrī Rādhāṣṭamī and complete reading this article. All right, Hare Bol. Is there anything anybody wants to mention before I end the stream for today? Okay.